Our exclusive interview with a man who's been called a guerrilla videographer and who's called himself a conservative activist out to, quote, create chaos for glory. James O'Keefe gained national attention last year with his video expose of the community organizing group Acorn. But in January, he got arrested and was sentenced last week for trying to pull off another hidden camera operation. O'Keefe says he's already found his next target, the Census Bureau. In May, he and his friend Sean Adelaide signed up to work for the census in New Jersey and Louisiana.
See, the position that you're going to be working in is called enumerator.
They each attended paid training courses. O'Keefe earned $18.25 an hour. Adelaide made $13.25. During that training, they say they were paid for some hours they didn't work, and they quit after a few days. And joining us now, James O'Keefe and Andrew Breitbart, the publisher of BigGovernment.com. Good morning to both of you. And James, let me begin with you. I don't want to get to that new project, but first let's set the record straight. You did commit a crime, correct?
Yes, a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor. Mm-hmm. Entering federal property under false pretenses. Mm-hmm. But you sounded pretty defiant out on the steps of the court. Do you think you did anything wrong?
I'd do it again. I might do it differently, but corruption exists inside federal buildings.
You would do it again? You would commit a crime again?
No, I might do it differently, but I don't regret what I did. I mean, corruption exists in federal buildings.
But you committed a crime.
I mean, senators are corrupt. Politicians are corrupt. These people have to be investigated.
So, but you would commit a crime again?
No, like I said, I might do it a little bit differently.
And some of your critics say that you are more of a political activist than a journalist, including some of your fellow colleagues and allies. Morton Blackwell, respected conservative, said that he let you go from your work at the Leadership Institute because you wanted to do a sting operation. He said our group doesn't do that kind of work. And Blackwell told O'Keefe he had to choose between his job and his activism. He said he was committed to the activism. And by your own admission on the website, BigGovernment.com, you say, chaos for glory, my time with Acorn. You say it's time to emulate the work of Acorn. This is your words. It is time for us to be studying and applying their tactics, many of which are ideologically neutral. It is time for conservative activists to create chaos for glory. So you're a conservative activist, not a journalist.
No, I'd consider myself an investigative journalist. These are tactics journalists have been using for decades, going undercover, confronting subjects, posing as characters. This is something we're rebranding it, we're revitalizing it, we're resurrecting a genre that's existed. But this is not a left or right thing. This is just about exposing corruption. And
well, except you write here yourself that you're a conservative activist trying to create chaos for glory.
Well, I mean, when I say chaos for glory, it's about chaos for glory. It's like destroying corruption.
The census. One other point your critics make is they say that you're animated by resentment over race. They point out that you've attended at least one conference where white nationalist literature and speaker were promoted. And they point to a time when in college at Rutgers where you were actually kicked out of a dorm for using racist slurs.
I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, that's been completely disproven on the internet. I'm not even going to address that.
That has been absolutely debunked. That was a Max Blumenthal hit piece at Salon.
I'm creating a movement of investigative journalists across the country. And they're not going to stop us with character assassination and all this innuendo.
But you don't deny that this was your own diary that pointed this out.
And they're not going to be able to stop us.
You don't deny that.
No, what I'm saying is when you stand up to powerful individuals, they're going to try to destroy you and smear you. But this is not about me. This is about the truth. And they can't stop us with that type of stuff.
Let's move on to the census. You and a fellow and a colleague went down to census bureaus in both Louisiana and New Jersey and signed up for the training program. Let's show a little bit of the tape.
We all left early.
You got paid for like 2 hours
Right.
more then?
Yes, yeah. So that's what I'm concerned about.
I would say don't be concerned.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to be committing perjury or anything. So.
No, well, you did your best to, bring it to our attention. I don't think anyone's going to be questioning it except for you. So I would just let it go.
Let it go.
You're good.
All right.
You seriously, you are good.
You want me to have a copy of that, or?
I wouldn't even, I'd throw it away. But I mean, you want to keep it for your records, fine.
So after quitting the training program, you went back with timesheets showing you didn't do all the work, about 3.5 hours less work than you signed up for.
That's right. Over the course of 2 days, I was paid for as many as 3.5, 4 hours of work I didn't even actually do. So it's just sort of systemic, showing supervisors, not low-level people, but as many 6 to 8 supervisors in these videos, just saying we don't audit at that level, we don't care, it's not our money, don't worry about it.
But this was the training program, and you can
Right.
see that in the actual census program, they were holding workers to much stricter standards. We have some videotape of that as well.
This is not a big issue here, but when you start doing this enumeration thing, you want to make sure you are watching your miles, okay? Set the odometer and every day record it, don't estimate it, don't guess it. That's part of their ability to audit you, would be to look at your miles. And if they look at the places you went to and it didn't add up, you're crazy.
It's being pretty clear there.
Yeah, but I mean, he's saying those things, but what does he actually do? And if you look at the entirety of these tapes, I mean, this is a guy who gave us a 70-minute lunch break, and we got paid for, all that time. He let us out at 3:30 p.m. So yeah, he may be saying your miles, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, George. I mean, this is about an institution which, I mean, we went into 2 offices and just happened to stumble upon these hours just being given out. I mean, there's a lot more fraud and corruption and waste here.
But all you know is what happened.
This was
in
the
those 2
entire
offices.
office. It wasn't just James O'Keefe. It was an entire office of people who were getting paid for hours that they weren't working. And that also happened in Louisiana with a cohort of his that did the exact same thing, that found the exact same problem within. And both of them, as good Samaritans, went to multiple levels of supervisor. And every single one of them was flummoxed by the naivete of him, that he would think that somehow, why don't you want this money?
So the census now in your sights, but you're going to stay within the law this time. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.